Get in. What a win that was tonight. 2-1 away to Tottenham in the Premier League for only our third away league win of the season. And can you believe it? Since we beat Leeds, our last league win on January the 7th, we've only played 4 league games since then because of all the competitions we've been in. Carabao Cup up until our recent exit to Man City, Champions League and the FA Cup. And since then, we've drew with Wolves 0-0, lost to Liverpool 4-1, lost to Villa 2-0, and lost to Brentford on Saturday evening 3-2. So that was a massive win tonight because, look, Eddie Howe's job's not under threat for me, but there's been a lot of noise about his future, especially on X. That seems to be the worst platform of the lot. But fans that I've talked to on other platforms, such as Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook even, they've been fully behind him, and that showed tonight with the away support and the performance that the players put on, because Tottenham were also under pressure as well. Away record that was completely similar, a mirror image of Tottenham's home record. We'd played 12 away games, Tottenham had played 12 home games, and the record for both was 2 wins, 4 draws and 6 defeats. And this game never has a 0-0 again. It didn't tonight. We're 1-2-1. It's always a bonkers fixture. There's always goals. And we always seem to, as I've said before, we either beat Spurs or they hammer we. But that win alleviated a lot of pressure tonight because, you know what? I still find it madness that Eddie Howe's future's being questioned. Like I said, you can constructively criticise for things he might have got wrong. Look, I know I've said that at times it seems like he's been tactically inflexible, but he has tried different things of late since that was first levelled at him. And tonight, after Saturday, when he looked down, dejected, but then he had a spring in his step yesterday at his presser. But Saturday evening, he said, I need to have accountability, the players do. I need to find solutions, maybe try something different. And you know what? He did tonight, and it worked to aplomb. And I'll admit it, pre-match, when I saw the lineup, I wasn't too encouraged. I understand he's got to rotate players and rest some. But when I saw the team, he'd stuck to Nick Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier right back, Dan Burn left back, with centre-backs Malik Chow and Sven Botman. Midfield was Jacob Ramsey, Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Willock. And then the front three, it was Anthony Elanga on the right, Harvey Barnes on the left, and then it's centre forward. It wasn't one of our £124 million worth of new strikers in Johan Wissa and Nick Voltemada. It was Anthony Gordon back from his recent hamstring scare. Look, I know people have said, how's he back so quickly if it was his hamstring? But look, I don't want to go down that avenue. He was back tonight and he contributed with that excellent turn and run that set up Jacob Ramsey's winner. And you know what? I know Spurs have had 10 players out tonight injured, 1 suspended in Christian Romero, who got sent off at Old Trafford on Saturday. And then obviously tonight they've lost Wilson Odebear. But you know what? You've still got to beat what's in front of you. You can't have any sympathy. You can't have any empathy. You can't feel sorry for them. You've still got to beat these teams. And Spurs will beat them. And Thomas Frank, there was calls of, you're getting sacked in the morning. We want Frank to go. I heard that watching it with me best mate. And yeah, he's under pressure. I know he was only 3 points above the bottom 3 before the game ended, but it's 5 because Šeško got a late equaliser, great finish at West Ham. That poor lad, the Man U fan, he still hasn't got rid of his afro. Why didn't he just say I want it to be 3 wins in a row? But yeah, look, as a sideshow, as a bit of a circus, that's funny. But yeah, it kept the gap as 5 points. And Spurs fans are worried right now. I think they're worried that they could get relegated. I still think that's a long shot. I know they've got Arsenal next in the league because they're out of the FA Cup to Aston Villa. But we had to just beat them the night. They're such a poor team and they don't like being pressed. And Eddie Howe, despite the reservations when we're all seeing the lineup, he got that spot on. It was an Eddie Howe masterclass, that. And look, was it perfect? No, because we conceded from Archie Gray. When the corner came in, it was knocked back across by Pape Sarr. I don't think Nick Pope was impeded. He just got in a bit of a mess. Sarr got in front of Barnes, and then Archie Gray equalised. But you know what? Credit to us, because you do worry when we equalise. We're a team who are top of the most points lost from winning positions table, 19, and you think, will we make this dominance count? Because the first half, at one point, we're 11-0 up on corners. And it's just crazy the amount of corners we had, but we didn't score from them. We obviously did have chances. But you know what? Despite conceding that equaliser, we didn't let our heads drop. We didn't even let our heads drop from that lifting, awful decision to rule out Joe Willock's goal. And I'm not even blaming Anthony Taylor for this. It went to VAR. And you know what? They didn't draw any lines. We didn't see semi-automated straight away, but then it came up after. And it's laughable like that. It's literally like me doing this just because I haven't been to the barbers or cut that bit of my hair. Excuse the graze on the end. It's mad that they actually ruled that out. What's he meant to do? Cut that bit of his hair just so he's on? It's maddest. Where's this 5 centimetre rule that Liverpool got that time? I just can't believe. At first I thought, oh, has he timed his run correctly? Because it was played through to, I believe, by Ramsey, wasn't it? And I thought Gordon was going to get onto it, but then Willock picked it up, shifted onto his right. It was a great finish. But I just felt, look, it's going to go to VAR. But then to see the reason they ruled it out, I'm sorry, where's the advantage to the attacker? I just don't get, honestly. Just stuff like that ruins the game in the moment. But you know what? Like I said, we're dug in, we found a resilience, and we got a goal straight after it, and fair play to it. It came down onto the right, and Anthony Elanga had it, and it came back to Joe Willock. Joe Willock put a lovely ball in. Malik Chow got a header on it. Guilherme Vicario saved it. And Spurs, I'm sorry, but Spurs were absolutely dreadful in their reactions. If I was a Spurs fan watching the reactions of those players to that loose ball, the second ball when Vicario saved it, allowing Malik Chow firstly to get the header and then go in for the follow-up and tap it in. Look, I'm absolutely delighted. I'm buzzing Malik Chow got that. And so soon after the setback of that goal being disallowed, Spurs could have came at with in full force and maybe took the lead. But you know what? We dug in and we managed to take the lead. And we came out. Look, this is where I say it wasn't a perfect performance, but it's just how every player stepped up tonight. They stepped up for the manager. They stepped up for themselves. They stepped up for the badge, I feel. And yeah, they came out the first 5-10 minutes of the second half and more of the same, but we couldn't get that all-important second goal. And then you knew Spurs would get moments. Of course they would. They had a few things going their way. Obviously, they had chances. Pape Sarr took a hopeful effort from range that Nick Pope comfortably saved. They had other chances. Solanke's attempted bicycle kick. Van de Ven then hit a rebound over. So yeah, Spurs obviously did have chances tonight, but look, I never felt truly troubled by them at any point. We dealt with them well, despite the equaliser. Sven Botman, I felt, and Malik Chow, him getting the reward for the opening goal. Chow were both composed tonight. Sven Botman, I will apologise. I did say some players haven't stepped up of late in a last video, but you know what? Fair play. I will say I was wrong in terms of Sven Botman. He's been great since he returned from injury, even though, yes, I know he was at fault for the equaliser on Saturday evening against Brentford. Him and Chow the night was solid. They dealt with everything in the air, got some big blocks in. So did Dan Burn, even though it was a worry in the opening stages. He got done for pace a couple of times, but he stood up tonight. Kieran Trippier, I felt, linked up really well. He's improved. I still think like he can't play so many games with his age, but and it has left Chow a little bit exposed, but it was good to see him stick with Chow. I thought he might have been rested, but Trippier linked up really well, I've got to say, with Elanga on the right. Elanga is again showing signs of improvement. Couple of corners caused havoc, few crosses into the box. No one was there to really take advantage of them, but he was willing to take on his man, stand him up, commit him, full of running. And all the team tonight, I've got to say, all of them were pressing high and pressing well. Yeah, Spurs got through it a few times, but that's inevitable when that happens. But yeah, fair play. Elanga played well again. Joe Willock, again, he had a shot before his goal. He didn't let his head drop. He was full of press and running, getting up the pitch. Yeah, he faded like a couple of players second half, but yeah, Joe Willock had another good game. It's shown that he's probably not done here. Who knows? He might be kept on. I thought he might be moved on, but fair play to him. Bruno, I felt Bruno was always, as usual, available for the ball. He was the heartbeat in midfield, keeping were ticking over. Some lovely passes. I mean, he was involved in that lovely pass to Ramsey that led to Joe Willock's disallowed goal. But I am worried about Bruno because Eddie Howe said after the game they don't know if it is a hamstring injury when he went down late on, and we really can't afford to lose him because we just don't win without him. But it might be that he's just being rushed back. It might just be muscle fatigue. Let's hope that's the case. The fact he walked off was slightly encouraging. But Barnes had like a backheel chance that came in from Alanga in the first half. He was involved in a couple of good moments. Gordon was a little quiet first half in the centre-forward role, but again, he stepped up in the second half with that goal when he received it. He turned well, drove into the box, released it at just the right time for Jacob Ramsey. And I've got to say, Jacob Ramsey, he showed that he could be worth that £43 million tonight. It was his best display so far. Always willing to receive the ball, drop it in pockets of space. He was pressing. He made good running. He just linked up play so well, and then he took his goal so well. Like, fantastic. Honestly, it was just reward for a man of the match performance. A lot of players did play well tonight, but I do feel, we said at half-time, Jacob Ramsey had been the standout performer. And yeah, subs come on. I can't say they really done too much. Hall came on too late for Bruno. Voltemana wasn't really too involved too much. Tonali kind of drifted. He still needs to step up a bit. Jacob Murphy was pretty anonymous, didn't do too much. But you know what? The team saw out the game well. Good game management, especially Lewis Hall at the end. He ran into the far left-hand corner. I know it went out for a goal kick in the end, but just intelligent play like that, rather than trying to go for chances, just run the clock down. So yeah, a massive win tonight, and it just showed the unity's still there, and it was great to see the support from the away. And unfortunately, because of work, I couldn't go to Spurs tonight, so that's why I didn't apply. But I am going to Villa Park this Saturday. I'm driving with down, so I'm not on the drink, but we've got a ticket in the lower tier. So I'm looking forward to going. I've been to Villa Park a few times, so let's hope we can continue it on, because there's still an avenue open towards Wembley in the FA Cup. Obviously, it's a tough game, but as I said in my last video, Villa are vulnerable at home, losing recently to Brentford and Everton. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to an away day because the away end seemed loud tonight. Great to see the backing for Eddie Howe and the players. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to Villa Park on Saturday tea time. I know we won't get back till after midnight Sunday morning, but it's worth it just following your team. And it's great to see so many people are so united. Eddie Howe has proved that he still can find the solutions. He's got out of difficult situations before, and he can do it again. So it's great seeing the backing for the manager and him running up to the away end, getting pushed and doing the punches, because he's normally reserved. Got to say, though, tonight, Jason Tindall, still not as reserved as ever. He got a yellow card. I don't know what for, but that's just classic Tindall. But yeah, best players tonight, Willock, Chow and Botman, Alanga. Trippier was decent. But yeah, Jacob Ramsey, absolutely man of the match. So yeah, big win. We now move 3 points behind Liverpool. They're away to the Mackhams tomorrow. I don't like either team, so I'd rather... Can both teams lose? I'd love both teams to lose. But... yeah, in that game, probably hoping for a draw, even though Sunderland would go back above, where it would keep Liverpool with only in 4 points away. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But yeah, massive 3 points tonight. That's alleviated some of the noise. And yeah, we're looking up the table now as we go to Villa Park on Saturday. So that's it from me for now. I'm going to go to bed in a moment. It's just gone midnight. I've just recorded this because I have been doing my ratings and post-match review. You can see the final word on all my socials, Blue Sky, Facebook, X and Threads. And if you do want to see my ratings, you can go to your respective Apple Store or Google Play Store and download the Sky Sports Fan Analysis app and look for Magnificent Mags, and you'll see my post-match review also on there, plus my player ratings for tonight's game. But please like, please comment, please subscribe, and more importantly, to help my channel, it's still growing, please do hype this video if you have liked it. And I will be back on Saturday when we're heading to Villa Park. So please join me as we travel down to the Midlands, at one of the best grounds in the country, even though its location is absolutely hideous. But for now, good night everyone, take care, enjoy the rest of your working week, and I'll see you at the weekend. Good night.